Welcome everyone to another episode of Past the Six Podcast. I'm your host, Jay Brown. Join me as always, the Tsunamic Wave. What's going on, my brother?
Ain't nothing, man. I'm chilling. How you feeling today, man?
I'm good, man. No complaints. Another week. You know what I mean? Ready to get into it?
Sir. Let's get it.
All right, if you guys don't know, the show is split into 5 parts. We start off with what games we're currently playing. Then from there, we're going to This Week in Gaming, where we briefly look back on games that dropped throughout this week in history. Then from there, we'll have some industry news. Then we'll each have a topic. Then we'll end with One Gotta Go or Game Versus. This week is Tsunamic Waves week.
Yes,
so I'm sure you got that all set up.
And you know this, man.
All right. Yo, with that said, bro, what games you been currently playing?
All right, man. So, I'm currently I'm like at the cusp of beating Elden Ring. Like I'm at the last boss. I mean, obviously, after you beat it, you can go and play the game over with your same level, but like you lose all your grace points and everything. So you pretty much start from the beginning. But anyway, I'm at the last boss on Elden Ring. So I've been trying to beat him. It's not easy. He's like the most passive aggressive boss ever in life, if that makes sense. I also been playing Apex, trying to get my rank up real quick before the split. I haven't been really enjoying Olympus, but I'm still playing through it. You know what I mean? And the last couple of days, I've been playing Fortnite because they doing this thing where they don't have no building, and that joint been really fun. And I almost forgot. One day I was bored, and I decided to go on Game Pass. And I found this game called Goat Simulator. And pretty much you are a goat going around tearing everything up in town. You headbutting people, messing up people's weddings, running in the cars. It's kind of cool, but it's kind of crazy at the same time.
Right.
Crazy game.
Yo, please tell me you play that game off the cloud.
Yeah, off the cloud. I did not download that.
I was about to say, bro,
there's no way that I was getting space in my game. But
see, that's what the cloud is for.
Though. Yeah,
that's what the cloud is for, y'all. Like,
yeah, that wouldn't have got no play no other way.
I got you. Yo, for me, I've been playing some more WWE 2K22. The reviews is coming soon. Like I'm almost done with the universe mode, which is like the my player type mode, you know what I mean? So yeah. I just want to complete that, so because obviously that's a big part of the game. Other than that, I played a few games of Halo. I did play Farcry 6 because they had like a free play weekend for that. Mm-hmm. So I've started playing Farcry 6. That game is dope. I actually think it's dope. I actually think I'm gonna buy it. Like, I'm actually going to purchase, because it's not on Game Pass. I actually think I'm going to buy it to beat the rest of it. Yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. I'm not going to lie. I'm not even a big Far Cry fan, but that one was dope, man. Like, because I did play Far Cry 5, which we're going to talk about shortly. But I was actually very impressed with 6. I know a lot of people they were lukewarm on it, but to me it was dope. To me, it was the best one. So that's about it. So with that said, let's get right into This Week in Gaming, where we briefly look back on games that dropped throughout this week in history. And kicking it off, we're starting off with Dead or Alive, which dropped on the PlayStation 1 24 years ago. And bruh, Dead or Alive, man, this is a game that shit. I remember playing this, and I remember being like, yo, like this game is like, it's super dope, obviously. But I remember seeing like, yo, Mortal Kombat don't look like this. You know what I mean? like this is a real fighting game. Like, and then of course, I got off of it. Like, I stopped playing it for a while, to be completely honest. I think I picked up probably like Dead or Alive 5. So it was a gap. But this is always a game that, I do play, but nowhere near as the other games. You know what I mean? Just being completely honest. So, I really got nothing to say about this game in terms of like it's bad or nothing. It's just the fact that it reminds me a lot like last week when we talked about Tekken. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of the games that like I'll play to show off that I can play it. But if I'm going to pick a fighting game, it's Marvel vs. Capcom, it's Soul Calibur, it's Mortal Kombat. You know what I mean? Those are in Street Fighter as well, of course. Those are like the ones I will go to first. You know what I mean? So what's your thoughts on Dead or Alive?
I mean, I agree with you. Dead or Alive is definitely not a top tier game. It's not garbage either, though. I like, Hayabusa is funny because that's my boy, but I never really played the first one. I think I got it onto Dead or Alive around the second one and the third one.
Okay.
Those two was pretty decent. Like I said, those wasn't top tier games though. I wouldn't put them with Marvel vs. Capcom and Street Fighter. I would put it more with Soul Calibur and games like what's the other game with the golden dude? I can't think of it. I'm gonna think of it at a random time and just be like, oh, is this one? What's the game I'm thinking off the top of my head? Help me out here, Jay.
Talking about Killer Instinct?
Killer Instinct, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Killer Instinct.
Yeah.
Killer Instinct. This is around, I think this is in a tier with those games, you know what I'm saying? Like right. Those games is not top tier, but they're not bad games.
Right. Yeah, man, like, I really think this game is like ahead of its time. That's like the best way to put it. You know what I mean? It was very realistic compared to the other fighters that we saw. And obviously, when it first came out, even though people may not be able to see it now, the graphics was insane. You know what I mean? Like, when this first dropped, like, the graphics was absolutely insane. This wasn't this was ahead of its time, to be honest. But, let's jump into the next game. Go ahead.
I guess the best analogy to put this is that, the kid that was really good in elementary school, and then as everybody caught up, you realize that he really wasn't that good. He just was ahead of everybody else at that time. You know what I'm saying? So that's what this kind of game is like. At this time, this game was really good. And then when everybody else caught up graphic wise and all of that, you realize that, all right, them other games is better. That's just the facts.
Yeah,
good game though.
Oh, yeah, but without a doubt. Let's jump into the next game. The next game we're talking about is cut this out. The next game we're talking about is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Now, this is a game that some of you may recognize from the Dreamcast. I think the one on the Dreamcast sold a lot of copies versus the one on the PlayStation. But this did drop on the PS1 first, 22 years ago. I've never played this on the PlayStation 1. I've only played it on the Dreamcast. I have it for the Dreamcast. It holds its value. Like, I think this is like a $50 game still, you know what I mean? So it definitely held its value. The game is dope. It's fighting games on the Dreamcast obviously is dominated by Power Stone and Soul Calibur. So I'm not gonna say it's that, but I know in Japan this game is like heralded as one of like the best video games of all time. Here in North America, it didn't quite hit that hard, but it's definitely a dope game. I advise everyone to play if you haven't, because I think it definitely if you start it, you definitely will play it through even today. What's your thoughts on this game?
I haven't played the game. I am familiar with JoJo Bizarre World. I think it's called Bizarre Adventures, Bizarre World. I think it is the anime. I tried to watch it a little bit. But I didn't know they actually had a game. I'm really wasn't familiar with this at all. It looked dope. It kind of reminded me of Marvel vs. Capcom and Street Fighter, like the look of it. Like, you know what I'm saying? That 2D cartoony type look. Which is cool because I work with JoJo Bizarre World. Because that's kind of how they look in an anime, you know what I mean?
Right.
A little bit different. They all about chivalry, man, being a gentleman, and I like this. I kind of like it. It's cool. But this game do look dope. And like I said, it got that look of a game that's classic, Marvel vs. Capcom. I could see how it's still $50, and I also could see how you would say something like we should try it. And I agree with you. It is some game that you probably should try. If you got the systems still, though, because a lot of people still don't got the systems.
Right. They're supposed to be making a new one for the PS5 and Series X and S. So, we'll see, obviously.
That would be dope.
We'll see if it does. But rumors started late last year. So I hope they do, you know what I mean? Because it's dope.
Yeah.
But let's jump into the next game. The next game we're talking about is Kingdom Hearts 2. Now, talking about a game that is loved everywhere, Kingdom Hearts 2, man.
Kingdom Hearts.
Now, obviously, we all know, as some call it, the Legend of Sora. Obviously a play off the Legend of Korra. But Kingdom Hearts, man, this is a game that I remember when Kingdom Hearts 1 came out and then 2 came out, everyone was going crazy on it. And I remember being like, at the time, I'm in that stage where I'm like, I'm trying everything I possibly can to prove that I'm not a kid anymore, right? So I ain't playing, if it's deemed soft, I ain't playing it, right? I'm only playing fighting games, sports games. Man, I will say I missed I will say I missed out on Kingdom Hearts. I went back and played it when it came to the Xbox One, and I remember being like, what the hell was I doing, bro? Like, I've never every Kingdom Hearts game is dope. I played them. I played all of them through now, and the fact that these games are long as hell back in the day. You know what I mean? They were jam packed with content. These are games that, man, I'm gonna just say it. Kingdom Hearts 2 and 3 are classics. Kingdom Hearts 1 is a classic as well, but I feel like 2 and 3, I feel like this is one that I can argue has gotten better, you know what I mean, with time.
Mm-hmm.
Where most games, the first one's probably the best, second one maybe, but this is one that has gotten better and better. So what's your thoughts on Kingdom Hearts 2?
Man, listen, I low-key love Kingdom Hearts. In the time where I was feeling the same way like you, remember, I always say, on the show, I would say, that was a time where I wouldn't play sports games. That was a time where I would play sports games. And when I say sports game, I mean fighting games too. Fighting is a sport.
Right.
But I only play those type of games, like you said. That's where my head was at. I just want to play the games I guess you deem to manly. But good thing, I had an older brother that didn't really care for any of that foolishness at the time or ever, really.
Right.
And he played in all the games he liked, from Metal Gear Solid to Kingdom Hearts to Final Fantasy. And that kind of opened my eyes to games like this. So I kind of, ran in his room one day and he was playing Kingdom Hearts, and that kind of opened my eyes to Kingdom Hearts. And I love all the characters, Goofy, Donald, and they on your team. I'm like, oh, I'm sold already. Boom. It's the only other game outside of the sports. Don't tell nobody I'm playing this, what I mean, but I'm playing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So this is one of those games that you could put all of those foolish thoughts as a kid to the side to play, because it's got all your childhood memories in it. And they did such a good job intertwining the stories and making Sora fit with all of the stories and just making it work, man. Kingdom Hearts 2 did a good job, following up from the first one. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, this is a good series. I'm glad they kept it going and didn't fall off a cliff, man, because this is really dope. And this will get all the kids to appreciate, especially, the younger generation, appreciate, our cartoons, as well as giving us a chance to appreciate their cartoons. So games like this is always dope.
Yeah, without a doubt, go play Kingdom Hearts 2 now. I think it was on Game Pass. I don't know if it still is. If not, buy it. It's that dope. The next game we're talking about is Far Cry 5. Now, I just said I played through Far Cry 6. Far Cry 5 was my entry to the Far Cry series. I know I'm super duper late, obviously, but I'm not gonna lie. Far Cry 5 got me. I played it all the way through, and I was like, okay, it's dope. I mean, it's cool. I had no problem. I didn't regret the time I spent on it, but it was dope, man. Now, Far Cry 6, even though I've only played a limited amount, because obviously the trial ran out. I think I played maybe 2 hours into it, and I know the game is long as hell. But 2 hours into Far Cry 6, I think that game is incredible. You know what I mean? So much so I'm gonna buy it. And I'm not gonna lie, with all the collecting and stuff I do, I don't buy a lot of new games. You know what I mean? That they don't catch my eye. That one caught my eye. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna lie, so I'm gonna buy that. But Far Cry 5, I bought it when it was on you know how games come out and then PlayStation would do the greatest hits. And then, reduce the price. That around that time is when I got it. So I wasn't even on Far Cry 5 when everyone else was. But yeah, the graphics are incredible, of course. Most Ubisoft games are. The gameplay is dope. I know people at this time were saying it was repetitive, but to me, it was brand new. So I got nothing bad to say about this game. What's your thoughts on Far Cry 5?
Before I give my thoughts on Far Cry, I just want to say that I think First of all, you know, I like to always say that PlayStation don't think about the gamer or the customer. Right? I always say that.
Right.
So I want to be the first one to highlight PlayStation and give them props for, you know, the greatest hits thing that they used to do. I don't know if they still do it, but they used to do the greatest hits thing where a game that's really good, after a while, they'd drop the price so people that didn't get a chance to play it could actually get a chance to play it. Like you said, it'd be like $20. You know what I'm saying? It'd be one of the God of Wars, one of the dope games. It don't be, you know, it'd be the greatest hits for real. So shout out to PlayStation. But anyway, I got into Far Cry a little bit earlier than you did. I got into it around the 4th installment, which was pretty dope. I didn't get to finish it though. That game is really vast, and you know, I played a ton of other games around that time. I kind of fell off the wagon with that one.
Right.
But the 6th one, I didn't get a chance to play either. Well, you know, I say either. I didn't get a chance to play at all. But it looked really good. It looked like, you know, Far Cry do really good with their story modes, man. And they always have a way to like put you in the world, like, and make you feel like you really in that situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna use 4 for example because, you know, I played 4, and I'm sure 6 followed the same mode in a way, you know what I'm saying? And you in the Thailand jungle, and you like, you know, once you get in there, you start seeing like the animals that's from all around in that area, like from bears all the way up to tigers type thing. So they do a good job, you know, using the environment to really immerse you in a world, and that joint is really dope. So yeah.
Yeah, like like if you guys have not had a chance to play Far Cry 5, go play it if you have the means to play it. If not, jump right into Far Cry 6, man. I mean, you will not doubt it. I believe the game takes place, I believe, in South America this time around, and it's special, man. So, yo, that's all we got for this week in gaming. Next week, of course, we'll have some more heat to talk about. Let's jump right into industry news and kicking it off, man. We kicking it off with Sony. Finally dropped some news on Spartacus, which is now back to the grand old name of PlayStation Plus.
What?
So it will not be called Spartacus. It will not be called Spartacus. The name of it is back to PlayStation Plus. It is a gaming subscription service, like full fold now. So so I'm reading this directly from CNBC.com. So basically, I have it up on the screen here for Tsunamic Wave, and basically, it comes down to tiers, right? So the basic package, which runs for $10 a month or $60 for a year, basically you get the PS Plus Essential. That kind of replaces the original PlayStation Plus. Which is basically if you play online with PlayStation, that's kind of what you already had, right?
Yeah.
So it replaces that, and that offers 2 free games each month at their picks, similar to Xbox Live Gold with games, and access to online multiplayer, of course. It costs $10 a month and $60. So if you already have what you're doing, and it will convert you over, that's just basic ability to play online, right?
Yeah.
Now, what everyone else wants to know about is what's new, right? So here's where we have a step above. We have the Essential PS Plus Extra, which of course gets you everything you have in the tier below, but you also now get a selection of 400 downloadable PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 titles. So now here's where it kind of starts to be similar to Game Pass to some degree, right? 400 games, PS4, PS5, down, install them if you like we say with Xbox, right? You install the games, you'll be able to play it. That's $15 a month or $100 a year, of course. What most people are talking about amongst the industry now is the PlayStation Plus Premium. This one includes 340 more games than Extra, which comes out to, of course, 740 games, and it lets players stream a selection of PS2, PSP, PS3, PS4, PS5, as well as the original PlayStation games over the internet, of course, similar to like the xCloud, right? Where you're streaming the game. That costs $18 a month or $120 a year. Now, they haven't actually put out a list of games yet, of course, that it is going to launch in June. so we're not too far away from it.
Okay.
So now, Twitter, of course, has been twittering, and a lot of people are like, okay, what about the new games that are going to drop day one? Information on that has yet to. Like,
they trying to get straight like the Game Pass, huh?
Right. So this is at least for right now, this is where it stops, right? This is where the comparison stops. Because as you know, certain games come to Game Pass day one. This is not going to be the case necessarily with this. So, but we are going to be able to play a whole slew of retro PlayStation games, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, PSP. And you'll be able to stream it, so you don't have to worry about hard drive space and all that. And I will say on that part, if it's anything like xCloud, in terms of like how good it is, in terms of working, that'll be dope. You know what I mean? Because obviously being able to access that would be great. Also, what people don't know is if there's a game for PS5 and it's streamable and it's available to stream, you'll be able to actually stream that game on the PS4. Now, you're not going to be able to get all the advanced features, of course. It's going to be kind of a scaled down version, but still, you'll be able to play technical only for PS5 games on the PlayStation 4 via streaming. Now, with that said, I'm going to turn it over to Tsunamic Wave. Oh, this is some new news for him right now because it just came out. Yeah,
this is a lot to process. The first thing I'm going to say is the prices is not that bad. $18 a month for the premium package, $120 a month. That's not that bad. That's only $3 more than the Xbox Ultimate Pass. You know what I'm saying? I think theirs is $14.99.
Right.
So it's really not that bad. And the fact that you get honestly more games than Xbox Game Pass, because Game Pass is a little bit over 100 right now. I think they like a little bit over 100. So the only thing that, PlayStation is lacking is information on the day one releases, which I'm sure they will get to. You know what I mean? Don't fret if you a PlayStation user. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's going to happen in the long run. You got to walk first before you run. The fact that they are being ambitious with so many games, though, is what I worry about. You know what I'm saying? I worry if they give you too much too early. And then that if you get greedy, will that hurt you in the long run? Because like, how you gonna are you gonna be able to take out and replace 750 games even if at a slow amount at a time? You know what I'm saying? Would you be able to do that? That's a lot of games to be trying to take out and put back. That's why I think Xbox Game Pass kind of did it perfectly, where they give you like 100 and then they take about 10 away and give you 10 and then take away 10 and give you 10. Something similar, something like that. Those ain't the exact numbers. It really depends on the month or how they do it. It really varies, but it's never nothing too crazy. You know what I'm saying? Where you like, they about to drop 100 more games. Nah, you're gonna get probably 5 every couple months. They're gonna take away like 5 every couple months or 10, one of them two things. It'll be interesting to see how they do that. You know what I'm saying? How they go about rolling out and taking away their games, because like I said, that's a ton to start off with. A ton. Even with the lowest tier, you're getting 400 games. It really doesn't matter what the titles are, though, because PlayStation has a great library of games. I'm not really worried about the titles. I think regardless of what the titles are, you'll be right. So that's not a factor. The only factor is how they're gonna roll out, taking away, and are they even gonna do that? Will it be the same $750 forever that you paying $120 to keep, or you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's the biggest questions. Are they going to change games? If they are going to change games, how are they going to cycle them? Are they going to add the day one releases?
Yeah. So I agree with you 100%. I don't think they can even go wrong in terms of what games they select. Cause like you said, from the PlayStation 1 and 2 alone, there's so many quality games to put in there. So I'm not worried about that part. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In terms of the day one access to certain games, I do think certain games will come day one, because I think fans are going to keep to pressure them for that. I don't think any of the top games are going to come day one. That Microsoft seems to be able to not care about certain things like that. Sony, I believe, still does. I don't think God of War is going to come to that day one. I don't think the Hogwarts joint, I don't think that's going to come to that day one. I don't think MLB The Show is coming to that day one. I don't think games
honestly, bro, with the amount of games they drop, I wouldn't be surprised if they don't start doing day one drops for a few years, man.
Right, yeah.
Like, let's be honest, few years. 750, you're gonna have to sit on that pause for a little bit.
Like it's not easy. Like, real talk, if you think about it, guys, like, it takes a lot to put these games, like Microsoft, that's a whole other beast in terms of the way they do business. That's not the same way that Sony does. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So with that said, I think that I agree with you. I think if they do bring games day one, I don't think it's going to be for a while, and they don't have to, because a lot of PlayStation fans are extremely loyal. So if the game is dope, they'll buy it, which is cool. I am glad that we are going to be able to get our hands on some of these retro games. And I know some are thinking, I don't have a PS5 yet. Well, if you still have your PlayStation 4, you can jump in on this as well. You know what I mean? Now, for me, it's tough because PlayStation games are the easiest to obtain in terms of the retro games, because they made so many of them, and there's so many games, and a lot of them are very cheap. So you could buy like stacks at a time. Yeah. So I definitely will get the software initially, just to test it out, of course, just because for what we do. I don't know if I'm going to hold on to it. I guess it depends on how my experience goes. Of course, we'll review it as well, but only because like a lot of these games that I would want to play on here already have. You know what I mean? Yeah. So with that said, I'm not sure if I'm still going to play it, but I do want to test that streaming of the games. I really want to test that out, because they said they're revamping it and they're working on it, of course. Now, in terms of how it compares against Game Pass, obviously, I think it's a good step in the right direction. I do not think it's better than Game Pass, because to me, the most important thing about Game Pass, besides the xCloud, of course, being great, is the fact that games come day one. You know what I mean? Like, that was like, we talked about this several times. That is probably the number one value in the video game landscape today. You know what I mean? The fact that MLB The Show drops next week, and that comes directly into Game Pass, we don't have to buy it. You know what I mean?
I'm not even downloading it. I'm just playing it whenever I want to.
I'm about to say, like, yeah, you are. Like,
yeah, I'm definitely downloading that.
Or a baseball game? Like, come on, man. Like,
yeah, let me stop capping. Right. But honestly though, Jay, before we go, I don't know if we could compare yet, because they didn't drop yet. And you know, some companies like to hold they aces until the end. So we gonna wait to see, because they might drop something. They might end up doing the exclusives too. You never know, man. If they really doing this and competing, they got to do a little bit better than 750, 700. I ain't gonna say that. Let's see first. Yeah, that's how I am. Let's see first.
So the next piece of news we're talking about is technically still in the rumor phase. I do want to point that out, but it's a rumor that's been talked about by Microsoft and Nintendo as well. So I don't think it's coming from nowhere. You know what I mean? And that is the 007 Goldeneye Remaster is coming soon. Now, from everything I've read, and these are from sources that usually don't, lead you down the wrong path. They don't just make shit up for no reason. Basically, they said they were set to announce that GoldenEye 007 will have a remaster coming out on Xbox and the Nintendo Switch. Obviously, because it's also going to go onto the Nintendo Online, whatever it's called, expansion pack, but also Microsoft, because they own Rare. Sorry, PlayStation, it will not come there because it has no ties to PlayStation. You know what I mean? Microsoft owns the company that made it, and Nintendo was the system it came out on. That's why it's not coming to PlayStation. However, it was supposed to come soon, and one of the reasons why it might be getting delayed is because where the game takes place. If you don't know, the game takes place in the Soviet Union, Russia, and obviously what's going on in the world, right? And now video games are not even being sold there currently anymore for the time being, which held up this game, of course. Now, in the past, it would have done limited releases, so it wouldn't have released in Russia, but released everywhere else. But ever since, the advent of social media and everyone got online, that's not the case no more. So they are going to hold the game for a little while. But I think I want to talk about what's your thoughts on that. So everyone was waiting for the old N64 game to come to the Switch Online expansion pack. Instead, we're getting a remaster. We don't know when yet. That kind of also plays into world events. But what's your thoughts on getting a full remaster?
I think that's really dope. You know what I'm saying? I think, 007 kind of changed the game in a way that multiplayer became a way of life. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was the only way to play games after 007 came out. Everything needed to be 4-player. Everything needed to be 2 or 4-player after that. Well, 4-player. Everything needed to be 4-player. And I think a remastered version would be dope. I think they could do a lot of things like make it online and tournaments would probably go crazy and it'd be dope, man. I just hope they do it in a way that make us OGs proud, of the golden, the 007 era, man, and that's not hard because that game is not really a complicated game to remaster. They just got to stay true to it, make it look pretty, and do better than San Andreas, man. Just do better than San Andreas, man. San Andreas, they didn't do nothing but make it bright.
Everybody, I mean, I agree. It shouldn't be that hard to do because people been remastering that game on their own for years now. So worst come to worst, just hire them.
They might already hire them.
Right. So I mean, and that would be dope. But at the same time, I'm hyped for it. Of course, we're gonna check it out. That's a classic game being remastered for new consoles and stuff like that. Of course, we're gonna check it out. So let's jump into the next piece of news, because I'm sure more news will come out on that depending on what happened with the world events. Jumping in the next piece of news, NFL is working on a VR game. Obviously, to come to the Oculus, it might come to the PlayStation and VR as well. I just wanted to get your thoughts on that. I mean, I remember NFL 2K5 had first-person football, but obviously that was with the controller. I'm sure this one will allow you to drop back to pass and stuff like that and all that. It could be dope. I mean, I really don't know. Like, people been talking about stuff like that for a long time, ever since VR became a thing. Is that something? Would you check out if you had the, if you had the VR stuff? What do you think about that?
I think that's dope. I'm definitely going to invest in the Oculus. Oculus joint. Because first of all, my fiance and my kids all want to play that joint. It look fire. I'm going to obviously, I ain't gonna say obviously, but yeah, I think that'd be dope. Actually seeing what the quarterbacks see, actually seeing what the running backs see, actually seeing what the wide receivers see. Hopefully you'll be able to choose whatever position you want. I'm sure nobody going to play the line because like that's going to be kind of hard to play VR, right? Because, me personally on defense, I like to play the edge, and I'm sure I can't do that on VR. And maybe we can. You never know. It'll be really dope to see how they figure that out and make that look and make that feel. But yeah, I would want to experience that, man. That's everybody's dream. I mean, I think every boy had a dream to play some type of sport. Obviously only 1% of us could do it in each respective sport. Right. So, just being able to put, ourselves in their shoes and, see what they see, will be dope. So yeah, I can't wait. I hope they do a good job. And yeah, I'm definitely going to try it.
Yeah, man. Same here, of course. Like, I plan to hopefully get the Oculus this summer. Obviously it's dope. I've used it before, but I need my own. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I just can't wait to play it. The NFL joint is, of course, I'll check it out. Of course, if I can buy Madden every damn year, I could play that, right? Like,
facts.
that's all we got for industry news. Let's jump right into topic. And it is the last week of Women's History Month. So, of course, if you guys don't know, we've been selecting some from our industry, the gaming industry, and kind of highlighting them. So, with that said, do you want to go first? You want me to go first this week?
I'll go first. You know what I mean? You know,
all right, go ahead, bro.
I've been you know how I've been doing. I'm gonna keep the same flow. You know, I've been highlighting a young lady from Facebook gaming, and I've been highlighting a young lady from Twitch. So right. I'm gonna say two names. Go check them out. So for Facebook gaming, it's a young lady go by Mufasa Screams, just like you know, Mufasa, like Lion King screams, just like that. She plays Apex. She really good. Actually, this next young lady plays Apex as well. And she's like a pro. So you know, she's like a pro. She played with the pros. She's on NRG. Her name is Lulu Lovely. She's on Twitch. You probably already checking her out because she is really that good. But you never know. It don't hurt to send more eyes. So go ahead and check her out. Support her as well. And yeah.
That's dope, man. For me,
Facts.
I'm gonna highlight Kim Swift. So Kim Swift is a video game designer. So she now currently in 2022, she works for Xbox Game Studios. In the past, she's worked for Valve, Square Enix. She worked for EA as well. So she's worked for the who's who of, you know what I mean, of the industry. And in terms of games that she's directly had parts in designing, the Barcular Drop, which I don't know if you guys know, but that was a PC game. Half-Life 2, which obviously is a huge game. Yeah. Portal. Half-Life 2, Episode 2, of course. The sequel to Portal, Left 4 Dead 2, Quantum Conundrum, which was a huge PC game, and Star Wars Battlefront 2. She had her hand in designing those games. She was really, really hands-on with the Portal and Left 4 Dead games. Like, she was the lead designer on those games. So I wanted to give a shout out to Kim Swift and thank you for these games, because I played just about all of these games.
Yeah, I'm definitely a big Left 4 Dead fan. So yeah, shout out, man. Good job. Well, first of all, those joints is dope. I'm about to say good job. Like them joints is fire. Right. Thank you.
And continue to do the great work, because I see you're at Xbox Studios as well. So this is dope, man. So obviously Women's History Month will end this week. So just shout out to everybody in the gaming industry who are women. Appreciate it. You guys made it better, because obviously and hopefully things continue to progress and we get more women into the industry. Because if you look at the list of women that had impact in some of your favorite games, you'll be shocked. You know what I mean? Because a lot of it goes underrepresented. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think Jay putting it nicely, because without women, they wouldn't be making no kind of games, because nobody would be
right. That too. So the ultimate thing.
Yeah.
So the ultimate thank you on that. So with that said, let's jump into One Gotta Go, a game versus Tsunamic Waves week. Take it away.
Yes, respect to the creators.
Yes.
All right, Jay. So I designed this specifically for you. Okay. So this is game versus mano y mano. Okay. All right. The first game is Super Smash Brothers Melee.
Okay. Yep. GameCube.
Yes. I'm trying to hold on. Let me go to my notes. I was thinking about this joint so hard I forgot. I ain't gonna lie. And my damn fingers are sweaty. All right. And the second game. Now, this is different because I usually do games that is like, you know, in the same category and all of that. But I thought specifically of you, like I said, when I designed this question. So it's not going to be in the same category like fighting. Going to be something different. And a game we spoke about in the topics, which is kind of weird that I forgot it, knowing that's...
I got you.
GoldenEye 007. Yo, that's wild crazy. So yeah, don't mind me. It's one of those days.
Nah, I feel you. Damn. So we're talking about 2 top 5 games on my top 5 list of all time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
2 of those. Like, all right.
Payback.
Double.
You did the payback.
007 versus Melee. Sheesh. Yeah. You know what? I think I'm gonna go Melee, like Goldeneye, man. Yeah, Melee. Just because as dope as Goldeneye is, I could look at it like the cover because I got like the box art for it and stuff like that. I could look at it and be like, oh man, that's a classic, and not play it. I promise you, Melee never stays out because every time I look at it, I start playing it, right? And I have Ultimate, which has the same characters in it. But yet I'll still play Melee. Like Melee is a game that like it kind of to some degree, it kind of like that was a game that I was like talking the most shit in, you know what I mean? Like Melee was a game that really brought out my competitive spirit. Like, yeah, like we played like Goldeneye and No Mercy and Revenge and stuff like that. But Melee was the one where, like, losing was not an option. You know what I mean? Like, it hurt to lose. You know what I mean? Like, I'm practicing. Like, it's just me. I'm practicing. And Melee, like, nah, man. Because, like, that's why the GameCube is one of my favorite consoles of all time, specifically because of that game. That, like, leads the charge. When I'm thinking about Goldeneye in the 64, Super Mario 64 kind of leads the charge in terms of that. You know what I mean? So I gotta go Melee. That's a tough one though, because I don't like to not pick one.
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, I'm trying to get you to, you know, I gotta figure out a way to get you to go against the grain on you, you know. All right, so like I said, that question was specifically designed for you, because I know how much you like Melee. But I also know how much we both enjoy 007 GoldenEye.
Yes.
So that is my pick, obviously. Melee.
GoldenEye, yeah.
I didn't have GameCube, so I didn't really get to understand what that game meant, as far as what it meant to the culture. I mean, I read it, what it meant to the culture and all of that stuff. Like, I'm in tune, but like, you know, I didn't experience it in the way that I experienced GoldenEye 007, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's why but again, I'm just trying to get you to say, you know, something is better than Melee. I don't think you picked anything over Melee yet.
I will say, I don't know if people know, but they actually put out a patch for Ultimate. Because some people, like, you know, in terms of tournaments and stuff, they were complaining that Ultimate can be too fast, like too fast paced for a fighting game, which is why some tournaments still use
I can see that.
Melee, but a patch, it kind of slowed it down in like a subtle way. Especially like you won't notice it if you're playing 4-player, but if you're playing 1-on-1, you might notice it, right? And with that patch, I will now say that Ultimate is better than Melee. Same characters, plus a bunch more. You know what I mean?
That don't count because I didn't make you say that, but okay.
Right. So, so I will say Ultimate now that they did that, because it's better, because obviously same character, same levels, just more. You know what I mean? And you can still use the GameCube controller. So what are we talking about here? But Melee in my heart will always make my top 10 list. So like, that's just me being real. That's just me being real. Sorry, GoldenEye. I guess we'll see when the remaster comes.
You get a second chance to defeat the Melee.
Right. But yo, that's all we got for this week's show. Appreciate all the love and support, of course. As you know, as we're starting to get out of what I call the dead zone of the gaming industry year, even though this time around it's been big. Yes, I did hear about Zelda being delayed. I did see the YouTube
delayed
trailer for it.
23.
Yeah. Whatever, man. We got a bunch of games to play. I did hear Xbox Showcase is coming soon, and I assume that's going to consist of games like Redfall, a bunch of games that from last year that we saw that we haven't heard about since. So I'm sure that because a lot of these games are slated to release this year.
Yeah, I'm ready to see what's up with Redfall, man. Xbox, man, y'all need to show us something. I'm gonna be disappointed if y'all coming there with some dry stuff that we already saw that we don't want to see because we saw it 3 times last year.
Right. So hopefully we figure out what's going on with that. But of course, stay tuned to past6pod.com. A bunch of stuff coming down the pipeline, and we getting after it. Like I said, we just getting started. All right. So with that said, Tsunamic Wave, take it away, bro.
Hey, yo, we appreciate the support. We thank you for, just listening to us, man, watching us, commenting on us, the post, whatever you doing to show your support, liking the post. It's so easy to show support. Subbing to our YouTube channel, because that's a big one too. You know what I'm saying? All these things is just a click of a button. All you doing is going through and just clicking all the buttons to help us out, man. We do appreciate everybody that's doing that and taking that time, because you could be using that time to do anything else, but you're 100%. Taking that time to support us, so we do appreciate that. Enjoy your night. Brush your teeth. Peace and love.
Yeah.
Peace.